Hey guys, James here at Next Level Collectors. Got with me again, Joe from Next Level Collectors. What's going on, Joe?
What's up?
Not much, man, not much. And as you guys can see in the background, it's not working. Anyway, so I got my new arcade machine. It'll be a nice little fun little background image, I think. Anyways, guys, today we wanted to come and talk to you about some of our picks of comics for the week. Give us just a quick chat and hang out with us. So I'm going to talk about the Uncanny X-Men 266 first appearance of Gambit and why that's awesome. And I believe, Joe, you got something you want to talk about as well?
Yeah, I have I actually have two books if you don't mind, James.
Oh, yeah.
I have I'll mention the first one, which would be X-Men 221. It is the first appearance of Mr. Sinister.
Oh, there you go. Hey, look at that. Actually, it works out great because we can tie in together. Ooh.
Okay.
But
Sounds good.
but yeah, it's awesome. So it'll be a really cool sesh. Um, so, anyways, guys, without further ado, I do want to just quickly mention that we do apologize. There's been a little bit of lull in some content, and for that, I do apologize. We've been very busy. We've had a lot going on, Next Level Collectors wise and lifestyle wise. For those of you who follow me, it was my little one's first birthday, so we've been preparing for that celebration and having a lot of fun with that. So that's all over, and we're all back to normal. So without further ado, let's start it up. Joe, you want to just talk about Mr. Sinister first?
Yeah, so Mr. Sinister, obviously a villain. He was a kind of a big part of the animated series back in the '90s. I used to always love when he appeared. Um, So yeah, X-Men 221. I just feel like I was just looking at eBay for, and they're in like the $200 range, which I think is a bargain. Um, for a book, like for a character like that. He is a villain, and villains sometimes don't command as much money as per se like the first appearance of Gambit. But I think that book has room to grow, and I think if he ever decides to get tossed into a movie, which chances are he's got a good chance, it would be a good book to buy now. You always want to buy stuff at the low point, not because for the people that want good investments, that's when you buy. You buy low, sell high. Um, Another interesting fact to that book is there was the direct edition, there was the newsstand edition, and there also was a fun time classic edition, which is that's the tough one. Um, the book will be the same. The book will be the same, and then off to the left, there's fun time, and then right underneath the X-Men, it'll say classic. So if you want all the different covers to that, there's actually three.
Oh,
A lot of people don't know that.
Huh. I didn't know that either. Huh. That's pretty cool. It's actually kind of funny. Mr. Sinister is an interesting character. So without an actual presence of him being in any of the MCU movies, it's actually interesting, or the Sony X-Men movies. It's interesting to see that that book being worth so much. Primarily because there hasn't even been any talks of having him in any of the series. Now there's obviously talks of the Marvel or the X-Men coming into the MCU finally, and there's a lot of hints towards when that's happening and how that's happening. Sounds like latest news to drop on X-Men entering the MCU as of me hearing this today, since when we're recording this, was that Rogue was going to be in the next Captain Marvel movie, which ought to be interesting. So I'm wondering if they're gonna do to Captain Marvel what Rogue does to Miss Marvel, which they're the same characters, aren't they? Like, I never understood the difference between either of those characters.
Kind of.
Yeah, but so that'll be really interesting to see. That's just rumored right now. There's no official word, but that would be really cool. So the comic I wanted to talk about today was the Uncanny X-Men number 266. And for all you fans out there, you may already know what this is. I'll give you 5 seconds to figure out what it is. And yes, you would be correct in saying that it is the first appearance of Gambit, one of mine and my wife's favorite characters from the X-Men. I shouldn't say her. It's one of her favorite characters. It's one of my secondary third favorites from the series. My personal top two are Wolverine and Magneto, for any of you who are interested. But Gambit, he's a really awesome character, and that comic is really cool. So anyways, Uncanny X-Men number 266, where basically they're fighting against the Shadow King. Shadow King kidnaps Storm in that, and Gambit just kind of comes and saves the day, and that's his first appearance in that comic book. It's a pretty cool comic book if you haven't checked it out. For those of you who are X-Men fans, definitely need to have that as part of your collection, in my opinion. I think I saw it going raw, like some copies, lower mid copies, like I don't know, $80, $100.
Yeah, 9.8s are going. I think they're hitting what, like $350.
Yeah. Higher range copies are getting up there. So not too far from your comic, the Mr. Sinister, first appearance of Mr. Sinister, which is, like, again, surprising, especially with all the commotion going on with their talks of having the Gambit movie and they're not having the Gambit movie. But I gotta say, at least Gambit made it into the X-Men movies, which was cool. For those of you who didn't know, he was in one of the Wolverine movies. Which one was that? Was it just Wolverine?
It was the first one.
The first Wolverine movie, which was a pretty good movie. We'll leave it at that.
I liked it.
It was alright.
Yeah,
I just like Wolverine, so he's just badass, right?
Absolutely.
It's gonna be interesting to see how they continue the legacy of Wolverine, but we'll leave that to see what happens, right?
Yes,
but that comic was really good. A really good buy. If you can get it, even at a 6.5, like ungraded, give it or take average, probably cost you about $80 to $150, give or take, and then get it cleaned up and stuff. It'll probably be worth your while to do so. Have it as part of your collection.
Yeah.
I have one coming my way very shortly, and definitely one of the ones I'm looking to get graded and all that other jazz. So what was the other comic book, Joe, you wanted to talk about?
So I think I'm sticking with the villains, which I typically don't, but I think that Spider-Man 238, the first appearance of Hobgoblin, I think has legs.
Definitely.
There was now a lot of people will ask if that. It's funny, both comics that I have, there's like a comic, almost like a variation, which I'm a big. I love variations. I love second, third, fourth printings. I like being that oddball. I don't know why. I just love stuff that's rare and odd. That book had come with a set of tattoos in the back, so a lot of people will ask if the lakeside tattoos are still attached in the back of the book. So I think that book is a special book, not only just because of how popular the Hobgoblin is becoming with all the Marvel Legends and all the Build-A-Figures. Like he's definitely out there and people are aware of him, which is good for investments. You gotta be able to see that a character all over the place pop up in order for it to grow in popularity. And that's what's happening with that one. Not to mention, it's in that Amazing Spider-Man series. So people love going after that whole run. They just to me, besides Detective Comics, Batman, and probably X-Men, the Amazing Spider-Man series, that whole run, those three runs are just, people love them.
You can't go wrong with the original.
I mean, you're just
classic.
You really can't. So I think that's my third pick, and that's the one I'm sticking with. So if you have X, I would invest in it. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
None of these three books that we picked today, you're ever going to lose a ton of money on. They're all what I consider blue chip books, which means even if the economy takes a shit, which It will. I'm not going to lie. It's really it's inflated right now. The economy's really good. Everyone's spending money like water. If you go on eBay, prices are super high. So the economy will take a shit.
Yep.
But these books that we mentioned, they're not going to take that severe of a hit, which is good.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I agree 100%. They're pretty much guaranteed investment books. So for those of you who are looking to invest, hop on it. If you're just looking to get yourself a good collection, these are obviously ones that they're must-haves, right? Like there's no going around with that. So, and I agree.
No. Right.
So those are our picks for the day, guys. We're going to try to do this a little more often. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little segment here. If you haven't already, don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button down below, and we'll give you a lot more constant updates on comic books, some what's coming out for movies and all that other jazz. So we'll just have an open discussion forum. Hopefully we're going to be able to get to the point where we can do some live shows, which I think will be really awesome to be able to interact with you guys. So anyways, until next time, guys, this has been James and Joe. Peace out.
Later.
All right. That wasn't bad.
That was good.
Yeah, it was good. I just got to edit out that little middle section where I was like, what?